The Patriot League Anaconda Player of the Week in men's basketball is C.J. McCollum of Lehigh. The sophomore guard earned his second consecutive Player of the Week award after leading the Mountain Hawks to a split of last week's contests, while averaging 21.5 points, 9 rebounds, 2.5 steals, and 2.5 assists in a 79-76 overtime win at Stony Brook and a 74-67 loss to Fordham. He scored 31 points on 10 of 19 from the field and 9 of 10 at the foul line, and had a team-high 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals in the win at Stony Brook on Wednesday. McCollum posted his third double-double of the year and 6th of his career, with 12 points and 10 rebounds in the loss to Fordham on Saturday. McCollum leads the Patriot League and is 12th nationally with 22.3 points per game. The Patriot League Anaconda Rookie of the Week in men's basketball is Cameron Ayers of Bucknell. The freshman guard played very well during Bucknell's 3-game homestand to earn the Rookie of the Week award for the first time. His best work came in the Bison's 73-68 win over Columbia on Wednesday, when he scored a career-high 14 points by shooting 4 of 9 from the field and helping to seal the win by making 5 of 6 free throws down the stretch. He tallied 9 points and 3 rebounds in a 77-73 loss to Wagner on Monday and closed the week with 6 points in a 52-49 win over Boston University on Saturday. Ayers averaged 9.7 points and 2 rebounds in the 3 games. He played a total of 70 minutes in the backcourt in the 3 games and did not commit a single turnover. The Patriot League Anaconda Player of the Week in women's basketball is Aaron Anthony of Army. The senior posted back-to-back double-doubles last week for the Black Knights, scoring 18 points and grabbing 13 rebounds against Binghamton, and following it up with a 21-point, 14-rebound performance versus Penn. She narrowly missed a third with 9 points and 16 boards against Northeastern. Her 21 points against the Quakers marked a season high and the first time she's eclipsed the 20-point plateau this year. She now has 1,102 career points, which is one shy of breaking into Army's all-time top 10. One top 10 she did crack is the Patriot League's all-time rankings for career boards. With 14 against the Quakers, she now has 817 for her career, good for 10th in league annals, and 56 shy of 9th place Desiree Almond of Bucknell. The Patriot League Anaconda Rookie of the Week in women's basketball is Alex Smith of Holy Cross. The freshman guard earned her second consecutive Rookie of the Week nod after averaging 18 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in 2 games for the Crusaders last week. She tallied 15 points on 5 of 10 shooting and grabbed 4 rebounds and 2 steals in a 68-65 overtime loss to Central Connecticut on Wednesday. She followed that performance with a 21-point, 5-rebound, and 5-assist effort against Maine. She hit 5 threes in that game. Bucknell won its second straight game by dominating on the defensive end, holding Boston University to just 17 points after the break in a 52-49 win. The Bison trailed 32-31 at halftime, rallying from a 29-19 deficit to trim the gap. Boston University held a lead of 5 points or less for the first 12 minutes of the second half, but Bucknell went ahead 47-45 on Cameron Ayers' jumper with 4:53 to play. The score was tied at 47 when G.W. Boone hit a three-pointer to put Bucknell ahead for good with 1:32 to play. Darryl Shazier made a pair of free throws for the 52-49 edge with 11 seconds left. Brian Cohen and Mike Muscala scored 10 points apiece, while Boone tallied 9. Lehigh saw its 2-game win streak come to an end with a 74-67 loss to Fordham, which also ended the Mountain Hawks' 8-game home winning streak. It looked good early as Lehigh took an 11-0 lead, but Fordham rallied back to trim the gap to 35-34 at halftime and quickly opened a double-digit lead in the second half. Lehigh trimmed a 14-point deficit to 7 with under 3 minutes to play, but was not able to get any closer. C.J. McCollum had his third double-double of the season with 12 points and 10 rebounds, but shot just 5 of 16 from the field. Gabe Knutson led the Mountain Hawks with 20 points, largely on the strength of a 14-for-15 effort at the foul line, while Michael Ojo scored 16 points. Colgate tried to put together a comeback for its first victory of the season, but the Raiders fell short in the 65-60 loss to New Hampshire. The Raiders trailed by 12 points at halftime and by as many as 18 in the second half before a 32-18 charge cut the deficit to 62-58 with 23 seconds to play. However, the Raiders could get no closer and fell in their second home contest of the season. Joe Hoban led the Raiders with a career-high 16 points, while Yao Jawu had 14 and Nick Pascal scored a career-high 12. Holy Cross was very competitive against an ACC opponent but could not get all the way over the hump and lost 75-64 at Wake Forest in the conclusion of a 5-game road trip. The Crusaders were within 5 points at the half and cut a 15-point second-half deficit to 6 with just over 2 minutes to play in the game. That was as close as they would get as Wake Forest closed the game with a 9-4 run for the 11-point win. Andrew Keister and Devin Brown shared team honors with 16 points in the game. Navy won its second straight game with junior Jordan Sugars making his return from a hand injury with 20 points and 7 rebounds in a 64-57 win over George Washington in the BB&T Classic at the Verizon Center. Navy took the lead for good midway through the first half and held a 31-27 lead at the break. Consecutive three-pointers by Isaiah Roberts and Sugars gave the Mids a 49-40 lead with 6:16 to go, and Navy stretched the advantage to 59-45 with less than 4 minutes to play. George Washington clawed back as close as 5 points in the final 30 seconds, but Navy clamped down on the defensive end to maintain the lead. O.J. Avwaro scored 10 points, while 3 other players tallied 7 or more. The Mids limited George Washington to 3 of 22 three-point shooting, while making 11 of 25 from beyond the arc. American dropped its third straight game with a loss to number 18 Florida. The Eagles led briefly in the opening minutes and trailed just 22-19 with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half, before Florida stretched its halftime lead to 30-21. American was still down 9 with 7 minutes to play before Florida closed the game on a 14-4 run to win by 19. Troy Brewer led the Eagles with 17 points, while Vlad Moldovianu scored 14. Senior Taylor Wainert and sophomore Jasmine Lynch each scored 13 points and pulled down 6 rebounds, while Krista Moser tallied a game-high 13 boards to lead Colgate to a come-from-behind 57-55 victory over Loyola of Illinois. The Raiders were down by as many as 17 in the first half and 15 in the second. Down 47-37 with 9:25 left, Sammy Kozlowski ignited a 15-3 Raider run with a layup and then capped it off with a three-pointer to give Colgate a 52-50 lead with 4:15 left. Loyola responded with a 5-0 run to take a 55-52 lead, but Lynch hit a 3, then stole the ball and converted a layup to put Colgate back up 57-55 with 1:40 remaining. The Ramblers had 4 shots at the basket over the game's final 100 seconds, but could not convert, giving Colgate the win. Navy was held scoreless over the last 4 minutes of the game as Loyola of Maryland stole a 57-54 victory at Alumni Hall in Annapolis. The Mids offense sputtered in the first half after a game-opening 9-2 run when Angela Myers was whistled for her second foul with just under 12 minutes remaining. The Greyhounds responded with a 16-4 run to take a 21-14 lead and had a 27-19 advantage at halftime. The Mids rallied in the second half with a 9-2 run to take a 45-44 lead and went up 54-51 after a Myers layup and a three-pointer by Cassie Considine. The Greyhounds scored the next 6 points and held the Mids without a score the rest of the way. Considine led all scorers with 19 points, including going 5 of 10 from behind the three-point line, while Myers pitched in 12 points and freshman Jade Geif pulled in a game-high 12 rebounds. Alexis Dobbs scored a career-high 14 points, and Nicole Ryan hit 3 three-pointers to set the American record with 163 career trays in the Eagles' 57-41 victory over Youngstown State. American led 27-22 at halftime and built the lead to 19 at 46-27 with 9:48 remaining on a three-pointer by Dobbs. However, the story of the game was the Eagles' defense and how they shut down the Penguins' leading scorer, Brandy Brown, who averaged 19.5 points entering the game. Alex Smith posted another big effort with a game-high 21 points, sparked by 5 three-pointers to lead Holy Cross to a 79-69 victory over Maine at the Hart Center. The Crusaders and Black Bears were tied at 39-39 at halftime and played a back-and-forth second half. Freshman Kelly Hamner hit a jumper that sparked a 12-2 Holy Cross run to give the Crusaders a 69-59 lead with 4:16 left. Whitney Fremo finished with 13 points, and Amy Lepley had 10 points. Melissa Downey led the Leopards with 11 points, and Lakeisha Wright had 10 as Lafayette held Fairleigh Dickinson to 22.6% shooting in a 51-37 victory in Easton on Saturday. The Leopards held the Knights to only 13 second-half points. The 37 total points surrendered by Lafayette was the lowest since the Leopards defeated Holy Cross 55-32 in Worcester on February 5, 1992. Sarah McGorry grabbed 13 rebounds, and freshman Danielle Fiacco recorded 6 blocks. Erin Anthony recorded her second straight double-double with 21 points and 14 rebounds in Army's 53-44 win over visiting Pennsylvania at West Point. Army jumped out to a 16-4 lead over the game's first 11 minutes and held a 9-point lead at halftime. Penn whittled the lead down to 4 at 28-24 with 15:25 left in the second half, but Anthony's jumper with 5:28 left gave Army a comfortable 44-33 lead. Laura Baronic added 13 points, while Anthony also picked up 4 blocks. Emily Gratch led the Mountain Hawks with 15 points and Courtney Detler added 14 as Lehigh won its third straight with a 72-60 win over Binghamton at Stabler Arena. Lehigh shot a blistering 58.3% from the field in the first half and finished at 49% for the game. The Mountain Hawks led by as many as 18 in the first half before the Bearcats orchestrated a 15-4 run over the half's final 5:52 to make it a 43-36 game at the break. Binghamton opened the second half on an 8-0 run, but Dentler hit one of her 4 three-pointers on the game with 9:28 to go to put Lehigh up 53-52, giving the Mountain Hawks a lead they would not relinquish. Freshman Shelby Romine scored a career-high 22 points, including a personal best 6 three-pointers, but Bucknell fell 63-57 at UMBC in Baltimore on Saturday. Romine hit a tray early in the second half to give Bucknell its first lead of the game at 35-32, and she knocked down another with 9:16 left to put the Bison up 54-43. The Retrievers whittled down the lead thanks to clutch free throw shooting, and Romine scored Bucknell's last bucket with 1:46 to go to put it up 57-53, but UMBC ended the game on a 10-0 run to provide the final tally. Colgate won its third straight contest with a 69-51 victory over St. Francis, New York at Cotterell Court in Hamilton, New York. Senior Taylor Waynert scored a game-high 21 points and junior Tricia Oakes pitched in 12 in the Raiders' 18-point victory. Leading 28-23 at halftime, Colgate shot a blistering 64% from the floor in the final 20 minutes to outscore the Terriers 41-28. Krista Moser grabbed a game-high 11 rebounds as the Raiders held a decided 47-25 edge on the glass. Waynert's three-pointer with 9:42 left in the game gave Colgate its largest lead of the game at 55-32. Navy mustered a late rally, but it came up short as the Mids lost 60-55 to Delaware at Alumni Hall in Annapolis. Senior Angela Myers tallied a double-double of 19 points and 11 rebounds while collecting 8 assists for Navy, which dropped its third straight. The Blue Hens went 13 of 15 from the free throw line, while the Mids made 5 of 6 from the line, all in the first half. Elena Deladon hit 2 free throws to put Delaware up 58-50 with 2:57 remaining. Myers responded with a three-pointer and a layup to cut the deficit to 58-55, but would not get any closer as 3 attempts from behind the arc to tie the game were off the mark. Cassie Considine recorded 18 points and 6 rebounds in the loss for Navy.